Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Tyler Norton, and we have a third developer diary for NASCAR Heat 2, and this one is specifically on the series extension and how they were able to get the new tracks into the game. So, with that, I'm going to show you guys the video and I'll share my thoughts afterward.
In the early planning stages of this project, we had a chance to kind of see if we can really add all three national series. So for the first time in 10 years, we've finally been able to add all three, starting from Camping World Series to the Xfinity Series, and finally ending up with the Monster Energy Series.
We had to make certain that the driving experiences were authentic and that they correctly modeled how someone driving the cars might feel. And when Brad Keselowski was here, we had early models of both the truck and Xfinity series, and so he was able to give us a lot of really great feedback on the subtle differences between the Monster Energy Series, Xfinity Series, and Camping World Truck Series.
In addition to 2 new series, to support that, we added 3 new road courses, 2 ovals, and finally a dirt track.
Being able to go to the new tracks and have the new experiences adds a lot of depth to the game and adds a lot of enjoyment for players to be able to think of themselves as professional drivers.
We had to make sure we modeled the new tracks correctly. You know, you've got 3 new road courses, and there's many different ways to sort of race each road course, and you got to make sure that not only does your physics model work for the normal ovals, but you have to make sure that your new physics model works at the road courses.
This year, in order to aid developing the tracks, we hired a company to make drone scans of the entire track surface.
We actually had the exact data that we got from a drone that's, travels high above the track, and it'll tell us exactly what different elevations are around different points of the track.
It was really an invaluable aid to help us get very accurate placement of all the buildings, the walls, the surface of the road, and the geometry. In particular, it was invaluable in making the road courses.
Being able to race, 40 cars on a road course, I don't know too many other games that have that kind of experience.
One of the best parts of adding the Camping World Series to the game is the ability to add dirt track racing, which we have with the Eldora Speedway. It really changes the kind of type of racing you're doing. You're really driving on the edge and sliding around the corners. It makes for a very exciting small track experience racing.
Eldora is its own thing. It's a completely different model. You got to make sure that you're correctly modeling the dirt, the amount of grip that you have when you're going around the corner. You got to make it so it's fun. You can't just make it so everybody just spins out all the time. That's relatively easy to do. But to create a fun drifting experience where you hit the throttle just right going around a corner, you can keep that speed all the way through, is something that's super satisfying and really fun to do.
NASCAR Heat 2 arrives September 12th. Pre-order at NASCARheat.com.
Okay, so after listening to the developer diary, there was a few interesting points that they made that I'd like to pretty much mention because, one, I think it is kind of somewhat satisfying, and two, also interesting. They didn't really say much about adding this series like Xfinity and Trucks, but they did say when they added it, they said something like about Brad Keselowski going down to 704 Studios to help them manage the physics and handling of each series of the cars, so they're not driving exactly how each series would drive. So it's not like NASCAR 9 where they felt almost the same, but so they wanted to be able to change that around a little bit. So that's pretty much what I remember what they talked about. And for the track build, when they talked about how they were building and creating a track in the game, I like how they said they used a drone to fly over the track to get a visual image from the outside of the track and literally put it to the game. Like they said something about the building in the hills. They almost copied and pasted that to put it right into the game, which is something that's interesting and pretty much satisfying. And they said they got the accurate measurement and the geometry when they made the bankings and the turns, so they could be 100% correct and, well, not going to be perfect, but you know what I mean. So they would be able to just do something certain so they can be able to have it as realistic as possible, because we don't want a racing game that's not going to feel like that's not on the real track racing. Like if you race at Bristol and you're going up against the wall and you don't really see that in real racing, then you wouldn't want that. So that was something a little bit interesting, and I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, I'm a drone fan, so what's my point of this? My point is that the drone is better than drawing from the track or just driving around the track for a stupid GPS thing. But needless to say, that's a pretty creative thing to do. That way they could be able to do it. I mean, like the fourth Forza game, they had like photographies, so they would draw in like what they would see from a picture. I mean, I'm not sure how to say that, but they used like the computer graphic design to pitch that into the game. So that was Forza's idea, and every track has a unique idea of. Now, every game has a unique idea of putting the track in the game and having the views around. So it's not like it's so hard, but at the same time, it is kind of hard because you gotta try to have an accurate measurement in geometry so you could be able to put it right in the game. So that being said, when it came to Eldora, they had to use a whole different model and physics, they said, so that way they could use its own technique for dirt track racing. And for that reason, it's because dirt track racing is entirely different than asphalt racing, if I said it correctly. But yeah. So when it came to dirt racing, they had to make sure they did more of how the physics and how the cars would turn in dirt tracks, so they could be able to have some more accuracy in there. I mean, of course, it's not gonna be perfect because it's a NASCAR console game. If you want something perfect, you'd have to be either in a dirt racing car or race iRacing, according to many people. So I'm looking forward to it somewhat, and I think Eldora will be overrated, but a lot of fun. And it deserves to be overrated because we're going to be seeing two new series in the game. We're going to be seeing a lot of comeback, hopefully. Hopefully, online is fun, especially, like I said, Eldora, or even Road America, or God, I'm forgetting all the tracks all of a sudden in my head. I mean, Iowa, I'm looking forward to, in my opinion, but yeah. So, thank you for watching. Please give this a like if you somewhat enjoyed it. I don't know if I'll be doing another thing after this because I got school next week. I go to Benjamin Franklin Institute of Technology in Boston, Massachusetts, so I'm gonna be a little bit busy, but I will promise you this that I will be doing gameplays and here and there. So I'll be doing as much gameplays for NASCAR Heat 2, like I said. And if I don't do any more stuff like this, that's okay. I'll be sharing a lot on NASCAR gaming or other stuff. So yeah. Please subscribe if you haven't, and like I said, like this video. Please share so people can see this. I mean, just asking a little favor. I don't care. But yeah. Alright, well, enjoy the rest of the gameplay and have a nice day, guys.